Hello, summoners, and welcome to the IPL Killing Spree. I'm HatPerson. This is Red Baron. This is the inaugural episode. This is the first one.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. For those who aren't aware, Killing Spree, what we're doing, it's a King of the Hill match setup where each round it's $300. But the best part, you go on a killing spree, you get 3 kills or 3 matches in a row, and you start getting a $100 bonus, so $400 per round, and you start building up a bounty. And you know, whoever beats you, then if they get to collect all your bounty.
There is a lot of money to be had if you're a habitual winner, I believe.
Yeah,
we should call it. And you know, for our first match, we actually got something pretty big for you guys. So we got CounterLogic Gaming versus Team Goose.
Yeah, and the big news with Team Goose, unfortunately, has been that they are not going to be going to IEM Kiev. They did qualify, and it was really a breakout performance for Goose. Yeah. They, I believe they beat Curse, V8, and then Epic in order to secure the spot in the qualifier. So, you know, really just some fantastic wins. We saw a lot of really interesting play from them. But as a result of some issues, you know, with family and stuff, MandatoryCloud and Lemon God won't be able to go to Kiev, so the team just decided to drop out. And Lemon God is actually going to be leaving the team. I don't want to say, you know, permanently. You know, they're not sure how it's going to go, but we are going to be seeing a change here, and it's actually CuRtoKy is going to be stepping in.
So this is going to be, I think, first time we're going to be seeing this new Goose lineup.
Yeah.
First time we're going to see the new geese fly.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting to watch. It's going to be a really exciting matchup. You know, CLG, they are really the established team. They've been around forever, but they have been going under some changes. They did introduce Doublelift to the team not that long ago. See how he's been working out on AD, and you know, he's been doing pretty well, but they haven't really had an opportunity to display their power. And then Goose, by the same merit, they're trying to break into that top tier of teams, trying to prove themselves as, you know, one of the strongest teams in League of Legends, and this is really going to give them an opportunity to do that.
So I think I see we have both teams. We are full in the lobby. We are ready to get this going. So we should be starting any moment here. We get these pick span going. So here we go. We're going to start up with game number 1. First match on IPL Killing Spree is going to be CLG versus Goose.
Yep, very exciting. Really, you know, I'm curious to see what kind of comps they're looking to employ. It really could be any number of things. You know, we might see some of the stronger standard champs like Rise is just, you know, always fantastic. Maokai actually banned off. I don't know if Goose has been running Maokai. I know a couple of teams have been doing it. Solo Mid has had a lot of success with Maokai. Yeah,
well, we also saw recently at MLG, we saw the famous Maokai jungle.
Yeah.
So we are, I think they're just trying to skirt that, just keep it from happening. Like, we really don't want any Maokai in the jungle. And then CLG just goes ahead and counters with the Karthus ban.
That's right. It was CLG, Goose actually banning Maokai, and then CLG with the Karthus ban.
Yes.
I know Atlanta has played a lot of Karthus, but Atlanta's, you know, their jungler, so I guess MandatoryCloud, you know, must also be known for Karthus. He's really kind of a unique champion in his whole skill set. He's very different from all other casters. You really just want to sit there, farm mid, play an actually pretty passive game, and yet with that ultimate, it really gives you great lane control. You know, really, it's pretty easy to have successful ganks when you have just that quick R button. And you know, as the game progresses, if Karthus gets farmed, then you know he can just really be a menace in team fights.
So then, following that, we now have both Rammus and Morgana being banned. Rammus has been kind of coming back a little bit recently. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's he really is just a fantastic pick right now. You see him banned all the time because his ganking is just so powerful, and that's really the key with today's jungle. The jungle, it's been made a little bit easier, so you can farm very quickly if you have someone who's good at clearing. And Rammus's big thing is he's always been really strong with his first clear. He kind of falls off as far as clearing the jungle is concerned, but he's got that nice AoE damage, just powerballing into those creeps for some early levels. And then with the powerball into the taunt combo, that's just devastating for ganks. Always has been, always will be. You know, so that's definitely something to take care of. And actually, the rest of the bans coming in, we have Goose banning Graves.
And Morgana and Kennen being taken out also. Those are, you know, I think Morgana and Kennen right now are really the 2 strongest AP mids right now at the moment. Morgana's always been strong, but first pick for Goose. See, you can't let that Shaco go. Shaco's a very strong first pick coming from Goose.
It's actually kind of interesting to me. To me, the CLG bans, they're all 3, you know, mid champions. To me, they kind of, you know, show a lack of respect for Goose. And those champions, they're all very unique, but what characterizes them? Morgana, very easy champion in lane. She's very difficult to gank. She basically just sits there and farms all day. Karthus, the same way. He's kind of got that ranged ability. You don't want to, be too active. You kind of just sit there and farm. And then Kennen, a very strong laner, has a great presence. So I don't know if it's just that, they don't want to give MandatoryCloud an opportunity to get into this game, or if they feel that if they push him down to some of those lower tier, casters in that mid lane, that he might actually struggle and, his team might fall behind.
CLG is now also picking up, I'm pretty sure we're going to grab Sona here, and Ryze has already been locked in. Sona being, I think, the strongest support character in the game.
Oh my gosh. And you can...
too good!
You can never underestimate the power of that ultimate. Crescendo, absolutely fantastic. And then Ryze, one of the strongest laners in the game. Once he gets some mana, he really is just devastating. It should be interesting to see whether Atlanta can get involved with those Shaco ganks. I've seen him play Shaco actually.
We were watching some of the Kiev stuff earlier, weren't we? And the jungle Shaco coming from Goose, you never see it coming. You really don't. And he's just a very strong jungler. And I think we are running on the Volibear patch, yep. So seeing we have a little bit easier time through the jungle for Shaco. And even then, you still also have the potential for the immediate level 2 gank. Just leave those boxes at either buff, just camp out in that bush and immediately come out.
What are we saying here?
We have the Jarvan. We have the Jarvan. We haven't locked in yet, but let's see.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Getting the Leona Jarvan combo.
Look at that.
That's going to be fantastic.
Just giving it away. Just giving it away. Yeah. So, but CLG now knows. Okay, we have their bottom lane established. Mm-hmm. So we need to now work around that. Lee Sin being picked over by CLG and Vayne potentially being locked in here. So
I'm kind of curious. Where do you think that Goose is going to go with this team comp? It's very unique. I know that Atlanta, he likes to play his Shaco as kind of a counter jungling as opposed to ganking, so he's very aggressive with that counter jungle. And Leona Jarvan, they're both very strong champions even without any items. They have tons of physical damage, generally are pretty tanky, and they can really put a lot of pressure on that bot lane. But where do you go from here? I mean, a lot of the strong AoE champions are gone. They have a range team. If they were melee, I would say maybe take a Cassiopeia, maybe a Gragas. Gragas might be a strong pick.
Who else? I mean, who else would counter Ryze in this situation? Also, who would be a good pick to counter Ryze?
You don't want to take a bruiser. Ryze, he could really float lanes. He could go top or mid right now.
Kassadin,
it's actually a pretty even matchup. It really comes down to ability, kind of how things work out, Kassadin versus Ryze.
Looks like we also got Tryndamere potentially taking that top lane.
Now, if I were CLG here, I would really strongly be considering whether they want to run like a double AP comp. And I know they kind of float, change around their comps a lot.
We switch over from Cassin over to Swain. Now, now here's also one thing I've noticed. So we've got a pick on Tryndamere and Goose. No Ignite at all right now on CLG.
Yeah, that's true. We don't exactly know where they're going to go. I believe that, the Ryze is going to switch with Vayne since there's the cleanse there. And we all know that, Doublelift and, I think Chaos they're, really enjoy that cleanse. Should be interesting to see what the lane matchups are. If they actually go with a Cho'Gath versus Tryndamere, I'm not sure that I'm really liking that lane, because one of the things with Cho'Gath, he's kind of going to let you free farm, and he can do some damage, particularly against a melee champ, since Cho'Gath does have that great lane sustain. But Tryndamere, he's going to be able to heal as well, and he is just going to be farming all day. And to go with a strong bot lane, those AoE combos, they have the double AoE plus the AoE damage of Swain. We were talking about how they need AoE damage, and then to have it backed up with that super carry Tryndamere. I mean, that's a pretty terrifying prospect to me.
So we have our teams established. We're doing some swapping around here. So Team Goose will be Leona, Shaco, Tryndamere, Swain, and Jarvan. CLG running Sona, Vayne, Cho'Gath, Lee Sin, and Ryze. Those are your teams. And
I have to say, enough can't be said, about these kind of matchups and the The early game aggression from both teams, Cho'Gath and Ryze are both, fairly early game champions. Vayne scales fantastically as the game progresses, and really, they have a lot of disables. That'll be interesting to see whether or not Vayne can be sitting in the back. She does have that cleanse, so she knows she's going to be generally pretty safe. She has, her tumble and her knockback, but lots of single target damage. Ryze gets a snare. Lee Sin jumps in. Cho'Gath following up with a rupture on top of that snare. They're going to want to kite a lot. That's particularly why the Sona was a strong pick, including the ultimate, but it gives them that kiting capability so that they can do, a single target team and, just really take care of business for that regards.
So what some of you may have noticed is that we aren't exactly doing these matches live. So we are pre-recording these. We're putting them through post just to up the quality as much as we can so we can bring you the best batches possible for this first season. We want you guys to see more games and less empty chairs. So now also speaking a little bit about Team Goose, this is very in your face. Like our only ranged damage is Swain. Everyone's just really melee centric, in your face. Even Leona, just to have a melee support in there, getting off those stuns. So and there's a very, very aggressive team, and Shaco's already a very aggressive jungler, but Atlanta's also a very aggressive jungler. So I'm really, really expecting to see him do a lot of counter jungling in this lineup.
And I think the key is it's really going to come down to who can take control of this early game, because we definitely have two completely different styles from these two teams. The heavy kite team, single target focus from CLG, and then just, this massive AoE, just everyone get in there, just get into the fray from Team Goose.
Yeah. This team man up, if you will.
Team
this
man
is
up.
team
That's
man up.
Perfect. Team man up. That's what we have here. Team man up.
we have so
IPL.
many melees here. It's like, what? It's time to man up or it's time to go home. Right? We need our killing spree. We need our money. And so for all of you out there at home who are a little bit unfamiliar with how we structure things here on Killing Spree, so these show matches are kind of like our King of the Hill format. So 2 teams every week will play a best of 3, and whoever wins is actually getting himself a nice cool $300, and they get to come back next week.
And then the best part, the whole killing spree thing, you go on a 3-week win spree, you start getting a $100 bonus each game, and you start building up a bounty so that, teams that beat you, they're going to get all that bounty prize that collects.
So, so every win you get per week after the 3, you now get $400, $100 to the bounty pot. So the longer you go on, let's say Goose here goes on for 6 weeks. Someone eventually takes them out. Whoever takes them out, $600 in your pocket, real nice and easy. And you know what? This is also not a pro player club. If you want, esports.ign.com/LOL, you can sign up for yourself. We may actually see you here in a few weeks going up against the pro team.
Yeah, definitely pretty exciting. It gives some people an opportunity to, these up-and-comers, compete for money against these top-level players and really make a name for themselves so that they can start going to these future events, these live tournaments.
Cool. All right, so our 3-minute spectator delay is almost done. So everyone get ready. Team Goose versus Counter Logic Gaming. Welcome back, everyone, to the IPL Killing Spree. We are just about to get ready here. Game 1. Team Goose versus CLG.
Looking at the matchup again, I think the really interesting thing, a big key to this matchup is going to be how much blue control you can have. And Lee Sin, as a jungler, he's manaless, which is going to be awesome for Ryze. If Ryze can get that blue buff, he's going to be just dealing damage, all over the place. But Swain, also a very mana-hungry jungler, does need that blue buff. So it'll be interesting to see, the strength of Lee Sin versus the strength of Shaco.
Shaco's definitely in the position to do it. I'm really curious to see if Lee Sin will line up to do the same.
Yeah, and starting off with the items here, we do have Cho'Gath going after that cloth armor. Definitely a smart decision, matching up against that Tryndamere. Tryndamere just, has a fantastic amount of damage, but he is physical. So, stacking that armor, getting those health pots, always a good decision. And then Leona and Jarvan, because they know they're against the ranged, they've actually started off, and they are both running cloth. They don't want that Vayne just to harass them down, and that's the big issue with the double melee lane. You've got lots of aggression, they both have a ton of physical damage, they both have disables, but if Vayne is allowed to sit there and farm and allowed to sit there and harass them, then that could just be absolutely devastating for that bottom lane.
Both teams right now playing very defensively. We're not really seeing any invades right now. Goose is just more than content, just camping out their blue. They want to secure it. CLG doing similar. They're staying around their Wraith's red area, just trying to make sure that their junglers can both get their quick buffs and possibly head out there for the level 2 gank.
And what we're seeing here is absolutely why I love watching competitive LoL. Team CLG, they're actually sending Cho'Gath bottom and then Sona and Vayne top. You've seen him do it a number of times. But Cho'Gath, he can basically hold a lane against anybody. He knows he can hold that lane. He's got some range damage. He's got great sustain. Once he allows them to push the lane into the tower, that's going to be key. He's going to need to let them push into the tower. And then top lane, to prevent that Tryndamere from farming, they have that uber aggressive double range lane, and Vayne is just going to be dealing some awesome damage here. We have Shaco actually starting off with his Wraith, some excellent box placement. I'm not sure how much damage he's going to take at his blue, though, because he actually, with 2 boxes and then Smite, he will be fine.
It should be enough. It should be fine. And we also notice down over bot lane, we have Jarvan and Leona taking out the small golems. They will respawn by the time Shaco gets there to deal with them. Lee Sin is now also taking red, getting it very quickly, and Shaco's already moving into position. I think we may have an attempt on Ryze in mid. But
I actually think that Shaco might be setting up for these Wraiths. He's actually leaving. He's just dropping a box, maybe to get some vision. And we have the gank on Ryze coming. Shaco with the flash in, just getting a little bit of a crit.
He just wants to annoy him.
Yeah.
It's like, hey Ryze, how's it going? By the way, I'm Shaco. High five. I'll see you later.
Yeah. And annoy him, he did. But
he's coming back around. He's coming back around in mid, just trying to keep his lane presence up. But Lee Sin coming over into the bush.
With the exhaust.
And Shaco's really easy. He just got caught. Lee Sin just hopped in the bush, sandwiched him, and now he's got both buffs. That's never good. That's never good.
Yeah, and Lee Sin, he did start off with that red buff, really aggressive, but the blue buff will help him speed up, and maybe he can get a fast blue over to Ryze.
Yeah, Lee Sin doesn't even really need to press the issue here. He's just more than content with just staying in the jungle now with both buffs. He's like, Shaco's already so far behind now, losing that blue buff. And it looks like bot lane we're also being a little bit aggressive here. Leo's just pressing the matter here on Cho'Gath. They're actually getting really low.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to do that much damage there.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to do that much damage either, but Cho's actually really getting pushed, really getting hurt bot lane.
He does have plenty of health pots, though. He's finally got the lane pushed to his tower, which is exactly what he wants. And up top...
the exact opposite is happening up top.
Opposite. Tryndamere is not enjoying himself right now. He's taking a lot of damage, so he's not able to attack those creeps, which is really what he needs to do in order to get that heal off. And so now, not only is he not going to be able to farm, but Vayne and them, they can start pressuring this tower, getting some damage on it, and if they could get a quick tower along with keeping Tryndamere from farming, that would just be fantastic.
Tryndamere is absolutely having a rough time, but he does have that heal off his rage, so he can stay in the lane a little bit longer than Cho can, I think. Because he has that heal available to him. He can farm up a little bit more, so he may be in a little bit more of an advantage.
Cho'Gath is going to be sitting back for a while, though. They are going to zone him, so he's not only going to miss that farm, they actually jump in on top of him, just doing a little bit of damage. Not really a whole lot, and Ryze finally getting that blue. That is going to be devastating.
Might as well share it. Lee Sin's already got it. Shaco was spotted earlier up over by Baron area. CLG has top river warded. They're doing so much pushing, it only benefits them to have it warded. And it looks like we're also going to have a lane switch here coming from Goose. Tryndamere going bot, just leaving top lane to their own devices. So it's just free farming right now for Vayne up top lane for the next minute or so.
Yeah, I don't know that they really timed it that well, but Lee Sin coming mid, the snare from Ryze, unfortunately mistimed with the creep waves coming, so Saint was not able to get in there past the creep wave. They are missing some creeps from top because they didn't really time that lane switch that effectively.
We got Jarvan and Leona coming in for mid. We might get an attempt on Ryze if we can get the stun pop up. Misses barely. The standard is just a few inches too far away. But it looks like we have a nice little 3-man push here.
It's a convoy.
It is a convoy. Convoy! I should not have said that. I saw. I am not. I promised myself I wouldn't do anything singing related. I've already broken that. I apologize. Never again. Anyway.
Well, Tryndamere is happy. He's finally going to get to be farming now. He's got plenty of creep wave down here. Really, the question is going to be how successful Leona and Jarvan can be bought. Hotshot getting some damage off on Tryndamere, but they are, I believe, a level behind Vayne and Sona. Vayne and Sona actually coming bottom, so they're going to make a switch as well.
I mean, they've already established their dominance in the lane with the initial lane switch, so they might as well just keep it going, keep harassing Tryndamere. But he will be 6 soon, but it looks like we're going to make an attempt on Dragon here.
And here's the big thing, CLG, they had the perfect setup. They went their bot lane going top first, so they're going to get a free Dragon here, unless Shaco gets a miracle steal, and he's not even going to go for it.
It's not going to happen.
But they started off top lane and then forced Goose to switch. And now Goose, they're just kind of, they've lost a little bit of control. They don't really, they aren't really in the flow of things. We do have top lane very close to going down. Actually, it's just taking a tiny bit of damage. Yep. But as a result of the switch for Tryndamere to get that farm, CLG was able to switch bottom again and then take that free Dragon. That's some, good golden experience for the whole team.
I also want to note on the Dragon earlier before, CLG made the attempt on Dragon right as the ward was about to expire.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect timing. Could not have done it any better.
And that, Dragon at 6 minutes, 30 seconds, that's
quick.
Incredibly low.
That's quick. That's a lot of money. Look at they're already 2K up.
Yeah.
CLG is 2,000 gold up on Team Goose at the moment. And not to mention, you also have that pretty sweet first blood money to boot. So let's see.
Swain seems to be doing a pretty good job in this lane. He's actually ahead of Ryze, even though Ryze has that blue buff. So he wants to get farmed. But Ryze gets farmed very quickly. Does have a perfect point in this game towards the mid game where he just really devastates, whereas Swain really needs a couple more items. I don't know, he's actually got the catalyst, so he's going for Rod of Aegis most likely, but he really needs Rod of Aegis, maybe into a Rabadon's, and then some defensive items before he can take control of a game at all.
Yep. Jarvan bought a Razer, so I think are we gonna have a double Wriggles?
We might have a double Wriggles, and that's actually interesting. Jarvan, one of the best champions at taking, Baron as far as a tanky champ. Him and Shogat, they do tank it very well, and Jarvan does have that flag. Here we have Swain coming over to get this blue. That's going to be awesome. But Jarvan, very tanky at taking Baron, so if he has a little bit of a heal, if they have some great damage, then, they're just going to drop it very quickly.
Bot lane, we got some action, just keeping Cho pressed up against that tower. We're just taking hits. We're just ignoring Cho at the moment. It's like, we're just going to take a few hits on the tower. You can have our creeps. And we'll just go ahead. We'll just be on our way. And then mid lane, we got Swain and Ryze still dancing together. Swain made a little bit of an attempt on Ryze, but is quickly negated. But Lee Sin looks like he's trying. Oh, Lee Sin just decided back. I thought he was trying to come up and do something.
I think it's pretty interesting. Goose, they have a lot of late game champions. Jarvan, Leona are pretty early game. They don't really need a lot of items to get going, but they have kind of a late game team, but they're spending all of their time switching lanes, just jumping back and forth.
Yeah, so Sona just placed a ward over by Goose's blue, so it looks like we may have an attempt when Goose's blue comes back up, if it's anytime in the near future. Shaco and Lee Sin are about to meet, and I think they just grazed each other in bottom lane. Lee Sin has vision on Shaco, but Shaco did not see Lee Sin in that bush. He's not aware. He's just trying to get around. We may have an attempt on Cho in bot lane.
I believe they actually. The blue wouldn't be up yet.
I think they know. They know.
Oh no, there's the blue. The blue has spawned.
Blue has spawned, but Shaco decides to go ahead and stealth into bot lane. We're trying to make something happen with Cho. Jarvan's got the pop better. Ult! Cho goes down, but gets killed by a tower. Jarvan just goes down right after that. Leona is taking so much damage from Ryze right now. Is getting chased down by Lee Sin. We will make it away with that heal. 1 for 1.
And Vayne actually top doing some damage onto Tryndamere. I thought that maybe he might be a bit lower. He's going to be okay. He does have that ultimate still.
Right.
But Ryze going to be stopping by, taking that blue buff once again. And Swain just pushing mid, doing what he needs to do, and then going up into that top jungle.
Tryndamere does have his ult now, if need be.
He is taking a serious amount of damage here, but he has started to run in and out of the jungle to try and get some farm to catch up, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing.
Let's see. So we're a little bit past 10 minutes in. CLG has a nice healthy gold lead, about 2,000. It's good enough for a nice little small lead. And CLG also has a dragon to their name as well. Pretty quick dragon at that.
Yeah. And that dragon should be up in about 3 minutes,
Yes.
2 minutes actually. It was that quick that it's just going to be up in another minute or two.
We missed Dragon. We missed you. We need you to come back. But then and Goose has already learned. They have a nice little double ward set up over down by Dragon, trying to make sure that it won't happen again. But it looks like we may have an attempt on Swain. Lee Sin in the bush, ready to make that jump.
Showing his patience, he will want to watch out that he doesn't hit these creep waves. Swain is kind of protected right now. He is generally pretty safe. He still does have his flash, so he will be okay if a gank comes in. But maybe if they could get him to burn that flash, then they can get some effective stuff later.
For that
but
right
Vayne
moment.
actually chasing after Tryndamere, getting some good damage. He will get out of there. And Lee Sin jumping in misses the Q.
No Hadouken for you. Unfortunate. So he's just he wasted a lot of time in that bush, but none of the jungle creeps in his neck of the woods are there. But he's going back in again in mid, lands it this time, slows down Swain, but Shaco's nearby. We may have something. Lee Sin may actually die out of the zone here.
Swain's actually still.
Swain flashes in and trying to call up. Oh, kicks him away. He's still in the bush. Can't get him. Ah! Swain, Lee Sin both go down simultaneously. Ugh.
You were excited.
I was excited. Rise went down too, so that was actually a failed attempt on CLG's part. We are now even in kills.
But in the
and
meantime,
bot lane goes down. Ugh. I was just waiting, like, Lee Sin was just so low. It's like, why won't you die already, please? Come on.
I'm just sitting here with, like, the biggest smile on my face. I'm just, like, laughing, HatPerson sitting next to me there.
Yeah. Just die, come on!
Yeah, but it is interesting. They are setting up bottom. They will have Shaco there, and
and Dragon just popped up. Dragon popped up, and we have 2 people from CLG at spawn. We can take it really quick here.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised, that Vayne maybe hasn't done a little bit more pressure on the tower top. They've really been focusing on zoning Tryndamere. Here we get a Dragon. They probably could have had the tower by now, and then it'd be even, but it still is at about half. Shaco just waiting for that flash. He will get over.
So Goose is taking a tower. They've taken a Dragon, and the gold lead has shortened to less than 1,000.
Yeah, 500 is basically an even game.
Yeah, there's no good. It's nothing. Lead. It's nothing significant really to know. So now we've kind of evened the field a little bit here. So now look at Tryndamere now has top lane to himself for a little bit. He's trying to get back some of that farm, and he's actually in terms of creep scores actually pulled out ahead of Cho, who's on his own in bot lane.
Yeah. Though to be fair, Cho doesn't really need as much farm as Tryndamere does. Tryndamere needs to just be able to be fearless and run into the enemy team, and Vayne is far ahead of Tryndamere. And that's the real metric. Vayne doing some nasty damage here, but when you want to compare Tryndamere and Cho'Gath, that's really one thing. But let's compare their carries. They're both really late game.
In that bush, getting makes an attempt on Tryndamere.
Oh man, he's gonna go
burns
down.
His ult. The thing is, can he get the safety? Can he get the safety? I'm not sure if he will. Oh, right under tower. One last hit.
Jarvan
comes in though.
Unfortunately, no tower aggro on Vayne.
Vayne gets the stun off on Jarvan to prevent the pursue on Lee Sin.
Jarvan smashes Swain had given them vision. Swain just sitting there doing some damage. Jarvan does go down, but they get Lee Sin and Rise coming through. Vayne just going to work against this Swain.
Vayne just picking off Swain bit by bit.
There's the Sona kill.
Sona goes down.
And I believe Shaco's going to go down any second now. There he goes.
Yeah, they picked the right clone. They got the right one. You 50-50 shot. You picked right.
Yeah, so that's actually put them to a 2K advantage. I'm a little bit surprised. It didn't seem like that much. It was only 1 kill ahead, but Vayne getting a little bit of farm in that meantime.
See, that's what happened. That's what happens when you don't ward top lane. You have a Lee Sin in a bush, and that's what happens. It's just a nice little chain effect. Just kind of went down from there. As everyone kind of flowing into the battle one by one, and that's what happens.
And it should be really interesting to note, 3 of the champions for Goose, they are physical damage.
Yes.
And they're not really farming, for late game. They're gonna get some good items. There's gonna be a point mid game where they're really going to hit their peak. But if you just get some strong armor items, Cho'Gath is going to buy armor. That's what Cho'Gath does. He's a tank.
Yeah.
Rise is going to buy armor. He's a tanky caster. I
got that Frozen Heart. You need that Frozen Heart.
So Frozen Heart, with their team, that's going to be such a huge counter.
Yeah.
To a lot of what Goose is trying to accomplish.
Because we got a Frozen Heart. We're slowing the majority of your team down. That's I don't know. That is the best item they could possibly build, and it goes with the champ who benefits the most from it. He's got that armor, he's got the slow, he gets that mana. That mana. Rise benefits so much from that.
And then we actually have a gank coming in here on Rise. Shaco jumping in a little bit early. Tryndamere still chasing after, seeing if they can chase him under tower. That's not going to happen.
Yep, Rise flashes out of the Leona stun.
I think what they were trying to do originally was get Rise as he's coming over to this blue, but they got a little bit hasty there.
Shaco
Rise probably could have waited for a second.
Leona's doing a little bit of a pursuit, just slowing him down, just trying to keep him at bay. Shaco stealths in. We got the damage on focusing on Rise. He may actually fall right here.
There's Rise.
There goes the pop. Goes the Rise. And Lee Sin tries to get away, but he gets sandwiched in there by Tryndamere.
And they are kind of close to that point where they're really just going to be happy in this game. They've got some great coordination going on. CLG, they're kind of just minding their business, kind of just wandering around.
CLG's kind of scattered a little bit, actually. Because, Sona and Vayne are just kind of...
Oh my gosh, are they going to be chasing this show?
This is Team Man Up. This is Team Man Up.
They're still going after him. They will back off now. Leona taking some damage. She really doesn't want to lose that Oracle.
Do not want to lose that Oracle.
The chomp.
Feast can't do it. Can we kill Cho time? Yes!
Ooh, the catalyst.
Sona's ult just takes those last bits of health off Leona.
And
Sona
that's
goes
just
down.
Devastating. Oh my gosh.
And Vayne might get caught.
Don't get caught, Vayne.
Don't get caught, Vayne.
Get out of
there. Get out of there! Have you seen that supercut of all those movie clips where you say, "Get out of there! Get out of there! Get out of there!"
I don't want to see that supercut.
I think you want to see that supercut.
That sounds terrible.
It's like 7 minutes.
Well, now you're just, that sounds so much more enticing. But that's a really tough loss. Leona had gotten that Oracles, and that's what brought them into this game here. That map control.
Yes.
We see all these wards. These are Shaco, Jack in the Box.
Look at all those.
Jack in the Box. Ward. That's actually Jack in the Box 2. Ward.
So we have how many wards from Goose as opposed to the one?
Right.
The one right there
and
by CLG.
That's really, as the result of Leona.
Oh no, actually no, we got a second. No, we got a second one in that bush right down there.
Is there a second one?
Yeah, there's right there.
Oh, okay, guys, that's right. He just placed that.
But still, it's vastly inferior to the number of wards and boxes that Goose has at the moment.
But Leona is going to be a little bit behind in her farm as a result of that Oracles, and it would have been nice to hold on to it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised that none of them are going for Aegis yet. Leona did want to get that gold per 5 or gold per 10. The Heart of Gold, it is a fantastic item for them, but because they have such an upfront team, that team Aegis, that team damage, would be really fantastic, especially since they a couple of them do scale off of physical damage.
Now, let's take a look at Cho for a second. He does not have an Oracles. Do you think an Oracles on someone on CLG would be beneficial at this point?
It really depends on what they're trying to accomplish. Yeah, I mean, you can never say that an Oracles is going to be a bad decision. We do have Dragon spawning.
I'm just saying specifically in this point because we got a Shaco who's just kind of being a jerk around here. He's 3, 2, and 5.
And because he's the tanky one, it would be a good decision for Cho. However, at the same time, if they're trying to hold out this laning phase and just lane for a while, then, an Oracles isn't going to do them that much good. Shaco trying to come in and steal it.
It's not happening, unfortunately.
It didn't happen.
There's very content to just let them have it. But it's still really close. It's still really close right now. Only about 1,000 gold between the teams. A little bit more than that. Wow. And I'm still going back to initial Swain, Lee Sin, fractions of health fight. I'm still amped up from that. I still got that energy. I'm still kind of like bouncing in my chair a little bit.
Yeah, it is 2-1 in favor of Goose for those dragons. They are, pretty even generally speaking.
CLG had 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, CLG had 2. That's right. That's why they're at an advantage right now.
Yep.
But even so, if Goose can apply pressure around this map as they have been, they have a very fast Baron team. Especially considering that we have either a Wit's End or a Madred's coming out of Shaco. And either one is going to help them out a lot. Madred's would really be fast for that Baron control.
We have the null magic, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see Wit's End.
Oh, there it is. You're right.
There we go. So now look at the Jarvan.
Still 2 wriggles.
So Jarvan's still at level 1 boots. Phage, Brutalizer, null magic. What are we seeing here? Potential top lane. We got something. Swain trying to do a little 2v1 top lane, but they're just going to go ahead and walk away. What could Jarvan be building?
Well, I'm guessing he's going to be turning that into a frozen mallet, most likely.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing.
It's just generally small items. They are going for an early game, and those early game items will give them a lot of control through the mid game, but then delaying that late game build is potentially going to come back to bite them as the game progresses. But Brutalizer, an all physical champion, all of his abilities are going to be affected by that armor penetration, so that's just going to be fantastic for him.
And it looks like he's also going to be building those Merc treads sooner than later.
So he's going to be exceedingly tanky and then dealing lots of AoE damage. That's really going to give him some good control. And here we have 20 minutes in, Tryndamere has gotten up to 150 CS. So, he's caught up in this game. He was kind of held back.
Not really bad aggressive, considering the lane matchup he had.
Yeah.
So he's still. I can't help but feel that he should be in a little bit better position. But considering the situation, it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. So it should be interesting to see what items he's going to be coming out with. He's actually going for an Infinity Edge, so really just pumping out that damage. Probably some Phantom Dancers after that, which is awesome because you go with the early game item of the Wriggles. 3 of them have Wriggles, just fantastic.
That is a quick Baron.
But Wriggles is an early game item, and if you can't push to those late game items, then really quickly that Wriggles is letting you down.
Yeah, a little action over here on bot lane. Vayne's just trying to plug away at that tower. She's going to get it really easy.
Nothing they can do.
Not a whole lot they can do. Top lane though, Cho's getting chased down by both of them Shakos.
And there's no way he's going to go down.
Yeah.
He's just pushing him off that tower. They want to get those towers.
Tower for tower, easy trade.
This might be a little bit of an engage here.
We have an Oracle's on Sona now, getting ready for when the Shako comes a-rumbling.
Yeah, and as long as Sona keeps control of it, that's probably a better decision because she's planning on laning a lot more than Cho'Gath is. Cho'Gath does have that teleport.
Right.
So he's really looking to just sit down, plop himself down in that lane, whereas Sona might be moving all over the place.
And there's really not a whole lot that Jarvan and Leo can do against us right now. Lee Sin's just laying in wait. In mid lane,
we have Swain coming in on this rise. Can he get the snare? He does have the slow. Tryndamere is actually going to be tanking this tower for a little bit. They might as well just push and kill that tower.
I thought they should just attack the tower, just take it down.
We have Vayne coming into this Tryndamere, going to get some damage.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like now we're all converging in on mid, except for Cho. He's off doing his own thing up top lane.
Yeah, and they recognize something's going to be happening here. Should be interesting to see whether or not CLG can get that long sustained fight that they're looking for.
So CLG saw Shako place the box. That top river bush is warded, so you do have a little bit of vision there. They know a box is there.
Yeah, Goose is definitely going to be looking to catch CLG out of position. Right. I feel like that's not something that's very easy to do, especially when you have this long setup, long lane. CLG is going to do an excellent job of keeping their distance here.
Right. And Cho decided to go back, see what does he pick up. No, Cho got the Frozen Heart. He also picked up a Negatron Cloak as well. And
it's really a good item on either. I'm guessing that Rise, he really didn't want to commit that much gold to the armor. He wants to get that Banshees so that, he has a little bit more survivability, won't be picked off by their chain disable combos.
Right. So you can see here, we are now at the 24-minute mark. I think we're hovering around Baron a little bit, maybe to see if we can force something here. And mid tower, first mid tower in CLG is so ridiculously low. Just go smack it, just bring it down.
Yeah,
just put an end to it.
3-1. 3-1 on towers.
Yeah.
So CLG is still ahead, but it's only by 1,000. And Goose, they really have a quick team. They're get some kills, go take Baron. Get some kills, go take a tower. That's what their goal is. So it's really going to be if they can get the engage that they want, they're going to be looking to drop someone. Whereas CLG, they're pushing towards more and more late game. Have all of these disables protecting, Vayne, and then all of that single target damage, and then Vayne is just going to be wrecking house.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Vayne's Bloodthirster. She's got to be maxed out on that thing already.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
234 damage for Vayne. She probably has a Phantom Dancer now. How much gold does she have? She does. not yet, but almost have a Phantom Dancer back at base for her.
Leona has rebought.
Oh, no, wait, she does have a Phantom Dancer. It's around 1,200.
Yeah, Leona has rebought her oracles, so now we're just hunting around, and Sona already has hers.
And that was a good decision. I was kind of waiting to see when Goose was going to get an oracles of their own.
But we were not checking. But as we see, right up above Leona, there's a ward in that bush. Did she see it?
Yeah.
Oh, there,
well, she must have seen it
now. She does now. For a second, I was fearing that she put that ward in there and didn't see the one that was already in there. But yeah, we are definitely trying to force something to happen here at Dragon.
Well, they have 3 wriggles. I mean, they should be able to take it fast enough. We do have Cho coming in with
teleporting
the teleport,
on that ward.
Make
sure we get that vision.
Already using the ultimate. I'm not sure that
Focusing
was
in on Rise, already halfway down. Swain going down really quick.
She's actually flashing after Vayne. Vayne's taking a ton of damage. There's the Vayne kill. And then Shaco just dying right before he can get Sona up there. Yep. Or actually, Shaco's right down there.
Sona's trying to keep her distance, but she may just throw that nice Shaco. Can't do it. Ugh, that is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. That was a 3-for-1 in favor of CLG.
They didn't get the Sona.
They did not get the Sona. She was so... Look how low shape.
Oh, she got down to like 50.
Yeah. If we just had the time for a thrown knife from Shaco, that could have just sealed the deal. But well, Leona did stay alive, so we still have Goose still has their oracles as well. But man, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's 3.5K gold advantage now. So you take anything you can. Gold really is the key to this game. But I'd say it's still pretty even. Anyone's game.
Yep. And Goose is still a tower up. Yeah. Goose is still a tower up. So we have pings on Baron from Goose.
Yeah,
so CLG is kind of scattered right now. If they were to attempt Baron right now, I think they'd be able to seal it, and that they are doing. So we have a ward already being posted in there from Cho.
And with those wriggles, they're just going to kill it very quickly.
Really
Vayne is bottom. They are not going to have Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne is not going to get here in time. We're still going to try and attempt this anyway.
Goose needs to engage.
Goose. Jarvan is just trying to plug away the Baron, and CLG steals Baron. CLG just stole Baron right out from under Goose, and they're just cleaning up right now. Wow.
That's
I didn't even see who stole it. Who stole it?
It was Cho'Gath.
It was Cho?
The rupture is just too good. I'm fairly certain.
How much damage does this rupture do?
Oh, it's 1,000 pure damage. So, it's very tough if you allow Cho'Gath to get in there to. Outsmite Cho'Gath. Like, you always kind of look at your jungle, you're like, oh man, we missed it. That's such a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
But
and Trinimir's getting caught here. That bush is warded.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage from this Rise, but then turning it back on him. Where was the ultimate?
Rise too fast.
Wow.
Rise too fast.
But Rise was out of mana.
And he was out of mana. He still got him.
That overload from Rise, it did a ton of damage. I was surprised myself, but if Tryndamere had just used that ultimate, Rise had no mana. Tryndamere just would have cleaned up.
How much we got? How much damage we doing here on Rise? Let's take a look at those abilities. So let's see here. Yeah.
About 500 damage almost.
Yeah.
So then break it down to probably about 400. So.
Yeah. It was enough.
Yeah.
It was enough, and it worked. Just blew up Tryndamere, just didn't even have time to ult.
And this is where the game's going to get
very hard. Now the game is, immensely turned in the CLG's favor. They got that dragon. They stole the Baron outright.
Yeah. And Vayne's been farming all game. She she has her damage. She has a null mantle, and how much gold? Almost 2,000 gold. So she's pretty close to a catalyst for that Banshees. She already has the catalyst, but she's almost done that Banshees. That's going to be hard. They've got the Baron buff. They've now jumped this. It was just 1K gold lead just 2 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden it's a 10K gold lead.
Two team fights later, it can change the game.
Oh man. Shaco actually ghosting out. I thought he was going to go down for a second because Vayne was chasing after him. He is going to get out of there, but they are going to push this tower.
They can just take this tower, no problem. Now Goose really needs to go defense mode. Let's go wall. Let's reconvene back at our inner towers, and let's see if we can make anything happen there. Because these outer towers are just absolute toast.
And this is kind of the issue when you go, a heavy melee team like Goose has, looking for great initiation. once you kind of fall behind, it's very difficult to play a finesse game.
Yes.
It's hard for you to, kind of weasel your way back into the game because your whole goal is to just outright kill the enemy team. And once that doesn't happen, it's really a downward spiral. But we'll see how they can turn it around.
Dane's just plugging away at that tower, just without a care in the world, just standing, just boom, boom, boom.
Tryndamere actually engaging Leona with the ultimate. Jarvan getting on top of Vayne. Vayne actually rolling out of that Jarvan ult. And we do have Leona going down. Nothing
Rise
really
is pursuing it on Tryndamere. He's trying to get that.
He's going to get the kill.
Can't do it, but you know what?
Some good damage on Swain. Swain throws up that Zhonya's, but Swain's going down. And then Jarvan, this is going to be GG.
Yeah, we're expecting GG any minute here.
They're just going to take this inhibitor, finish up the Nexus. This is going to be game.
This is it. That'll do it. Three team fights in a row. Boom, 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 and that'll just seal it here for CLG.
Though at the same time, Goose was in this game for a long period of time. We saw some great coordination with their map presence. It's really funny how quickly the game snowballed out of control for Goose. But if they can get that same kind of presence, not allow CLG to get the dragons, and that's really key. CLG, they were down in towers, but they still had the dragon control. So if they can get that dragon control, wrest it from CLG, then that's going to really help them out in the next match.
So there is the GG. First game will go to CLG. So we're going to take a small. I think we're getting. Well, first off,
everyone just quickly go over the match. It was really interesting to see how the match progressed. We saw some really early aggression from CLG doing a fantastic job shutting down that Tryndamere. I was actually surprised he didn't get more involved in that game because we saw he did a fantastic job of getting back into this game. He finished the game with 210 CS, so he had some decent items. It was just the point when Tryndamere was looking to get involved, it had kind of fallen away from them.
Yeah, and to be fair, he also had a really rough lane matchup too.
Yeah,
he had a really rough lane matchup. CLG decided to switch their support and ranged AD to go top, and he did get shut down for a really good portion of the match. Triple Wriggles, I mean, it does a good job taking down Baron, but you need that positional advantage and you need that speed. So you have the replay here right now. CLG is coming in, they're invading the Baron spawn. Leona and Swain, they're doing an okay job trying to fend them off, but they can only do so much. Lee Sin is going to come in with the Q, he gets in position, Smite steals Baron, and that is a ridiculously small window to try and steal that. So very, very good job on their part. But from this point, they have the buff, they're going to wipe up Goose, and then after this, they're just going to push for the win. But hey, that's what happens when it gets stolen right from under your nose.
If you're going to go with triple wriggles, you need to make sure you secure the Baron. You need to make sure you secure those dragons. And CLG, they went 2-1 in the dragons early in the game. The 6-minute dragon, that was really just fantastic play for them. And that really had to do with the lane composition. Goose, they were in the middle of switching the lanes, and CLG got to have the bot lane. And that's really why you send 2 people bottom usually. It's for that dragon control. They sent them top to, do some damage to Tryndamere, but going bottom really did allow them to, take control of the game pretty early, though it was really back and forth for most of it.
Yep. Right, well, so that covers game 1. CLG takes it. So we will be back in a moment with game 2. Stay tuned. This is IPL Killing Spree.